Welcome to the London Stock Exchange. Can you feel it? The buzz of energy just before the market opens. Feels like the whole city is waiting. We love this moment. For most people, when they think of this place, they think of share prices. All those green and red numbers scrolling around the building. But behind those numbers, there are other deeper values that are just as important. The value of delivery, from media to medicines, from technology to tea. Capital markets help finance the products and services that we use every day. The value of innovation, from vaccines to batteries, breakthroughs don't come cheap. We connect great ideas to capital, helping to build a better future for everybody. And values like trust. For 300 years, trust has been at the heart of every transaction in this city. It still is. Hence our motto, our word is our bond. Today and every day, these are the values behind the numbers. And they're the reason that we're able to bring you moments like this. It's only seconds away now. Everyone is holding their breath. Let's not keep them waiting. It's time to hit the button and open London's market.
Oi, mkuu, kama hivi kidogo.
Okay, eyes this way, please. Thank you very much. Lovely smile. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll all head back into the room this way, if that's okay, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Here today, this morning. I'd especially like to extend my warm welcome to His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Karibu.
Asante.
Professor Benedict Arana, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Affection Bank.
Right there.
There he is. Welcome. Mr. Samora Zubairu, President and CEO of Africa Finance Corporation, who I did meet earlier. There he is. Good to meet you. And Chantal Carrington, also Chief Executive Officer of Invest Africa. Chantal. And also to all of the distinguished guests that are visiting us today here at the Stock Exchange. At the London Stock Exchange, we are deeply rooted in history, and our partnership with Africa dates back to nearly 100 years. We first welcomed the first company from Africa with AECI, and we are thrilled to welcome back Invest Africa today, as it kicks off the Africa debate with today's market open ceremony. Invest Africa, through the Africa debate, has been providing a platform for robust discussions on building and supporting sustainable businesses that strategically are important to the growth of the continent of Africa. And we've been bringing together heads of states. We're delighted to be hosting President Ruto today and his delegation, governments, global corporations, public and private investment entities, thought leaders, policymakers, for what are timely conversations on Africa's role in the changing economic and political order. At the London Stock Exchange, we take a great pride in partnering and collaborating with companies and governments around the world in order to facilitate access to what we say is international capital markets. As an exchange, our history rooted since 1698, we've always been a convener. We bring together buyers, sellers, investors, people who are looking to raise and form capital for various different needs in the service, and we do this to service the objective of capital raising across the globe. But we do this in partnership and with the spirit of partnership and collaboration around the world, and no partnership stronger than that with Africa. We've been consistently being a consistent funding partner both for governments and also to the wider African economy as London Stock Exchange, with more than 90%, which is a big number, 90% of the bonds issued by African sovereigns currently listed in our markets. To give you some context, the LSE has about $75.5 billion, or dollar equivalent, of 124 active bonds from African SSA issuers on the markets here today. And we're very glad to count the Republic of Kenya as one of the many sovereigns with bonds listed here on the stock exchange. The most recent one, I think it was in April 2025, where Kenya raised about $500 million on a 7-year bond issued here on the exchange as well. So our markets welcome the largest aggregation of African corporates outside the continent of Africa. We have over 100 listed companies with a market capitalization of over $95 billion. And I'm delighted to see that this is growing, and so with some of our deeply cherished international community and issuers. I'm also reminded by my team, Your Excellency President Ruto, my team tells me it will be the perfect situation to have Safaricom, one of Kenya's national champions, join our growing community of global consequential companies as well. So uniquely, London as an exchange, as a destination, as an international market, has been and continues to be a highly international destination for capital raising. A lot of the exchanges around the world are very sort of parochial. This is a company, this is an exchange over many, many years that has welcomed companies, investors from all over the world. And to give some context to that, 15% of the companies listed on the London Stock Exchange are dual listed. 60% of the shares on the London Stock Exchange are owned by international investors, and almost 75% of the earnings of the companies that constitute the FTSE 100, one of our flagship indices, are generated outside the UK. So truly international. We're very proud of our UK heritage, but very international as an institution. So this level of internationalization is something that creates ample opportunities to build mutually beneficial connections between London, between the UK and the continent of Africa. And I hope some of you here today see that this morning's celebration It's perhaps your first one on the balcony, and we look forward to welcoming you to come again and maybe open the market again when you list here. We don't take this role that we play for granted, though. Like any partnership, it requires really constant attention, real constant focus. And I have a very simple theory about partnerships. Partnerships are about what you put in, not what you take out. And it's why we're hosting events such as today, a really important one, and the discussions that are going to happen alongside this and over the course of the week with Africa Invest. So to close, I really do hope that you enjoy your visit to London. I hope it's a very productive one and that we have the pleasure of welcoming you back again soon. So thank you, and I now have the honour of handing over to Chantal Carrington to say a few words. Chantal.
Thank you, Dan. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I'm Chantal Carrington, CEO of Invest Africa. A very warm welcome to the market opening ceremony in celebration of the Republic of Kenya as our country partner for 2025, and the honour of hosting His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Kenya has long served as a natural gateway for UK-Africa business and a source of leadership across the region. This was illustrated by a successful Kenya Investment Forum yesterday. Today, we welcome you at the 11th Africa Debate, a platform that has over a decade convened some of the boldest thinkers and doers committed to Africa's economic transformation. Invest Africa connects capital to opportunity, policy to practice, and ambition to action. A massive thank you to London Stock Exchange Group for partnering with us on this market opening ceremony, which has now become a tradition to open the Africa Debate. We are also honoured to work alongside our headline partner for the Africa Debate, Africa Finance Corporation, AFC as we know it, a true trailblazer in translating potential into infrastructure and infrastructure into impact. We are grateful to the President and CEO, Mr. Samala Zabairo, and his team for their vision and commitment. Samala, can I ask you to come and say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Once more, welcome to Dr. William Ruto, President of the Federal Republic of Kenya. My brother, President Benedict Korama, my sister, Mrs. Oduwale, Minister of Industry and Investment in Nigeria, and to all of you. Again, we're here today to continue our conversation on how to execute at scale for Africa. We're here to have another conversation on what we need to do together to ensure that we bridge Africa's potential to reality with the progress we make every time. We are here to ensure that we're working together to build prosperity for our people, to ensure that we're unlocking new frontiers, we're investing in impact. Thank you. I look forward to our conversations this morning. I call on Dr. Orama to introduce the President.
Thank you, Samaila. Excellency and dear brother, Dr. Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, our dear sister, the Honorable Minister of Trade, Jumoke, our brother and Chair of the Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions, President of AFC, Samaila, Karen, London, members of London Stock Exchange, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Cabinet Secretary, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, my dear brother, sorry, I just wasn't looking properly. We are really very pleased to be here today to join our brother, Excellency President Ruto, as open the markets today. President Ruto is a very transformative leader and a believer in the power of markets. And that's why we're working with him and his government to deliver on a $3 billion country program directed at creating capacities for manufacturing, creating capacities for trade enabling infrastructure and other services. And we are really very pleased that although we are multilateral, financial institution, and we engage very actively with the markets, with the Association of African Stock Exchanges. And we're working with them using the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System to support their linkage program, to make it possible for our stock exchanges to be liquid, so that an investor in Kenya can buy shares in Nigerian Stock Exchange using Kenya shilling. That way we make the markets stronger, bigger, and make our markets better partners for the London Stock Exchange. And that is why we also thought that it was important we create another source of permanent capital for the bank, although we get a lot of money from our government. That's why we are listed, we created a class of shares which is listed on the Mauritius Stock Exchange. So today, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to invite our dear brother, visionary leader, who is a great supporter of African Multilateral Financial Institution, the great supporter of the markets, to make his statement. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is it yours?
No, that's yours. Excellencies, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I was informed this morning that the drizzle that you see outside is because I carried some of it from Nairobi. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here this morning on this very important ceremony as we celebrate what we can do together. And that's why I'm honored to join fellow African policymakers, esteemed investors, industry leaders, and development partners for this symbolic bell-ringing ceremony at the London Stock Exchange. I've had the privilege to do this in the New York Stock Exchange and, of course, Nairobi Stock Exchange. I am looking for the next episode, someone else. For decades, the UK has been a steadfast partner in Kenya's and Africa's development journey, supporting institutional reforms, infrastructure, and market development that continue to shape a much more prosperous and resilient future for our continent. This forum reminds us of the critical role that capital markets play as catalysts for sustainable economic growth and expanded shared prosperity across our region, our countries, and the entire continent. They serve as an efficient mechanism for mobilizing domestic savings, attracting international capital, and channeling resources into long-term investments in infrastructure, innovation, and industrial transformation. Across Africa, we are witnessing the growing potential of equity and debt markets as platforms for financing national development priorities. And I remember making the statement day before yesterday in Spain that sovereign debt is actually an instrument of development. It is not a trap, as is currently being configured. Well-functioning domestic capital markets enhance economic resilience by cushioning against exposure to volatile capital flows. They reduce dependence on external debts, foster transparency and governance, and diversify investment opportunities for both individuals and institutional investors. Kenya is committed to the development of its capital markets, particularly through strengthening the Nairobi Securities Exchange. This commitment is underpinned by strategic reforms and refreshed market-focused strategy under the leadership of the new Nairobi Stock Exchange team. Supported by fiscal consolidation, effective debt management, and a strong currency, these reforms helped the Nairobi Securities Exchange emerge as Africa's top performer in dollar returns last year. And this was a study that was undertaken by Morgan Stanley Capital International. As government, we have equally made a strategic decision to broaden Kenya's stock market appeal to both local and international investors by earmarking
key state assets for privatization through initial public offerings at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. We are committed to a structured, time-sensitive program that identifies and reduces and prepares a robust pipeline of key government assets to be privatized through the stock exchange or improved through private sector participation. As part of this initiative, we plan to list the Kenya Pipeline Company through an IPO in 2025, offering investors a unique opportunity to deploy capital in one of Kenya's most strategic infrastructure enterprise. I am pleased to note that across Africa, governments and regulators are pursuing similar initiatives aimed at deepening market participation, expanding product offerings, and unlocking the value of strategic public assets through listings and private sector partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, the UK remains a steadfast and strategic partner in advancing Africa's capital markets. Beyond the London Stock Exchange roles as a global financial hub, the UK government, through the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, has been instrumental in driving capital market development in the continent. Programs such as Mobilist, in partnership with exchanges like the Nairobi Securities Exchange and the Nigeria Stock Exchange, are helping democratize access to investment and promote financial inclusion. By leveraging listed equity and debt instruments, including green, gender, and climate bonds, these initiatives are unlocking capital for impactful and sustainable projects, while improving transparency, investor confidence, and long-term returns. This approach aligns with Africa's broader ambition to deepen financial ecosystems by increasing financial literacy, expanding access to capital markets, particularly for small and women-oriented businesses, and advancing sustainable finance as a key driver of inclusive economic growth. Similarly, FSD Africa, a specialist development agency funded by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, continues to play a catalytic role in strengthening financial markets across the continent. Through policy support, technical assistance, and innovation, FSD Africa has helped unlock new asset classes, drive regulatory reforms, and integrate climate finance, gender lens investing, and digital financial solutions into African capital markets. These partnerships reflect a shared commitment to mobilizing productive capital that responds to the continent's development priorities, from infrastructure and SMEs to green energy and climate resilience. As Africa looks to scale up capital markets and align them with the continent's vast potential, continued collaboration with nations across the world through government and market channels is vital. Let us build on this foundation to deepen connectivity, share expertise, and create capital markets that are innovative, inclusive, and globally competitive. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud that this morning to share this platform with Africa Finance Corporation, who yesterday I confirmed to them that the government of Kenya has now signed off a host country agreement, and they will be joining our list of premier corporations in Kenya, alongside Global Health, Bupa Global Health, again, who yesterday we signed on board to come and open their office in Nairobi. And later this morning, we will be signing off with Lloyd's of London, a premier insurance company, the oldest, I'm told, again, to join the list of companies coming to Nairobi as a financial hub. This tells you the story of Kenya being ready, prepared, willing, available to do business. And I am here to demonstrate to you that the government of Kenya, at the policy-making level, is aligned in working with you to make sure that we unlock the huge potential that exists in capital markets. It's not just government of Kenya, even the financial district of Nairobi, the governor of Nairobi is here to demonstrate that the leadership of the city itself is also aligned in making sure that we tap into this great resource that can be used to drive development and create inclusive prosperity. And to just confirm to you that we will be having a conversation later, and I want to thank my brother, Professor Orama, for his leadership and belief in the African continent. It is that belief that helps us create networks and work with others across the globe. And I want to confirm that we will be looking at opportunities of cross-listing some of the assets that we are doing in Nairobi Securities Exchange so that we can see how we can improve liquidity by cross-listing with London Stock Exchange. So thank you very much. Welcome. Welcome to Nairobi and welcome to Kenya.
We're nearly there. So, with our heritage of over 300 years, we have a few traditions around these parts, a bit of protocol. So I'd like to present the President with a memento of today's event, and also we have our register where we sign for every market open, every market close. We commemorate that with a page and a signature, and everybody here is welcome to sign the books to say they were here, and this goes in the annals of history of the London Stock Exchange. So maybe if we could stand at the front, President, and I'll hand this to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And please, if you just put that in there. You see all that? Right, got a little bag for you as well.
Yes,
if you'd like to come and sign the register there. Make sure you're the first signature in here. There's a pen if you'd like, anywhere here.